Okay, welcome to episode 2 of What's It Up To, where in this case it is going to be Tattooed Chef. In this series, we like to explore different topics, current events, all that stuff going on. In my first episode, we talked about the Very Good Food Company, which if you haven't seen that video, feel free to go check it out. It's probably pretty similar business-wise to, what this particular company that we're talking about today is all about. And just my own opinion here, I also think the outcome is going to be very similar for this company. And that video was pretty well received, so I appreciate all of you that enjoyed that video and watched it. And these are just for entertainment. I don't want to take anything financially or personally to anyone. If you invested in this company, you're not alone, because I, in fact, invested in this company about a year ago. You can go back to some of my previous videos on here, actually. I talked about selling puts on Tattooed Chef, and I owned a couple shares as well, unfortunately. However, I just want to make this clear. I do have a couple puts on Tattooed Chef. I bought these a while ago. Currently, they're up 66%, about $100. I didn't put a whole lot of money into them, but I just want to disclose that because if it sounds like I'm biased in any way, well, I kind of am. Now let's just go ahead and make a brief little mental checklist of what makes a good company. And I think check 1 in my list is if their description on Robinhood mentions, in quotes, zucchini spirals. And if we go ahead and we look at Tattooed Chef's about, what do you know? Zucchini spirals is part of the about statement. Therefore, I think it's a good buy. Obviously, I'm being facetious, but Tattooed Chef is just another plant-based food company. And in fact, I've tasted a few of their products before, and I actually thought they were pretty good. However, that isn't just what makes a good company. And unfortunately for me at the time, when I owned some of these shares, I didn't realize that because I was stupid. And here we are today. As for the price of Tattooed Chef, it's down almost 70% in the last 3 months alone. 3 months ago, it was sitting at $4.66-ish, and now it's below $1.40. And if we scroll back even further to a whole year, we can see about a year ago, it was about $11, $12, $13 or so. Now a decline of 88.45%. So what went wrong with this company, you might be asking? Well, from what I see, there's a few things. Profitability. They have yet to be profitable, and they just burn cash like crazy. 2, their management doesn't seem to be sold on the fact that they're just a plant-based food company anymore. This is more of a recent development, which we'll go look at an article that came out a couple months ago, I think, or maybe even sooner than that. And really, it's just kind of zucchini spiraling out of control. See what I did there? And if you look for Tattooed Chef on YouTube, just like I did here, it's probably no surprise if you've heard of this company that a person that's widely known in the finance space really hyped up the stock. And of course, I'm talking about financial education. In fact, I think he quoted that this was his next Tesla pick. As we know, Tesla's done pretty well. Whether or not you agree with, if it should have done well with its financials, but that's a different story. He really thought that this was the next hyper growth stock. In fact, if we scroll even farther, we'll see a video that he came out with why TTCF stock will 10x. And really, I have no problem if you're all in on a particular stock, but the wording here is what's unfortunate in my eyes, because it's not why I think TTCF stock will 10x. It's why TTCF stock will 10x. You might think, well, that's not really that different. But in my opinion, just based on the title alone, the wording, having an I in there makes it seem more opinion-based, where this is, it's pretty much fundamental. This is going to 10x. Now, I don't think he was going for this, tone, but that's just how it comes out in my mind. And this particular video came out about a year ago, and if you look closely, and maybe I can make it bigger, we can see Jeremy's portfolio at the time. This is his quote-unquote public portfolio. But just in Tattooed Chef, he was down $82,000. Back when the price of Tattooed Chef was $12.24. Now, am I here to just bash him this whole entire video? No. I just wanted to talk about a particular YouTuber that's talked about the stock a lot, and how maybe a lot of people, including myself, had heard about this stock. And if we go on Tattooed Chef's website, we once again see they make plant-based foods for everyone. Now, I want you to keep this in mind because they recently came out with an article that we're going to look at where they're like, maybe we won't just make plant-based foods. And one last time I'm going to talk about him on this video. He just came out with a video yesterday how he made over $46,000 in unrealized gains on his portfolio. And then what I did is I commented how much did you end up making on TTCF? And I'm not expecting a reply, but I thought it'd be fun to ask. And here's why it's important that I mentioned they are a plant-based food company a couple times. And Forbes just came out with this article, Tattooed Chef, a pioneer of plant-based foods, considers the unthinkable. And then they show a piece of beef. They said the plant-based bubble popped this year, meaning it back in 2022. And Tattooed Chef, with a $1.7 billion market cap back in 2020, has lost nearly half of that market cap, and I expect probably even more today. And their CEO said, Wall Street said don't worry about losing money, just worry about growing your brand. Now the whole world changed, and it's all about being profitable. How dare investors want profitability for a company that's hemorrhaging money? And so what does the CEO end up saying? It's something to consider when increasing the profitability. It's adding meat into their products. And really, I think this right here just goes to show that the company still doesn't fully know what they're wanting to do. And just to show you really quickly some of the financials here, if we go to financials and we go to balance sheet and we look at these quarterly, we can see the cash that is just draining from this company. About a year ago, they had $92.35 million in cash and cash equivalents. And last quarter, they reported only $14.22 million in cash and cash equivalents. And unfortunately for them, if we look at the profit margin, it's not getting any better either. It went from negative 22% about a year ago to last quarter being negative 71%. So this is the profitability he's talking about improving, potentially, and maybe thinking about adding meat to some of their products. And I'm just really curious when the next earnings call happens, how much cash they end up having with this decrease, because it looks like they used up about half from last quarter and the quarter before, the difference there. So how much are they going to end up having next quarter, next earnings call? It's going to be something to check out. But anyway, that's what's going on with Tattooed Chef right now. It's what it looks like. And that's my opinion on some of this stuff. If you like this video, please consider subscribing. That way you don't miss any of these kind of videos. In the future, you never know what we're going to talk about, whether it's a company, stock, an individual. In the end, I just hope it's entertaining. And I also hope to see you in a future video.